Meeting your Goodreads goal does not have to be stressful. If you want to read more books in a month without sacrificing your sleep, your social life, or your soul, boy oh boy, do I have some tips for you. I don't know about you, but my Goodreads challenge is my constant companion throughout the year. It's the one goal every single year that I actually take seriously. But reading 100 books a year can be really scary. That equals to about 9 books a month, which can seem unattainable when you have a full-time job and a full social life. But last year, I actually read 120 books. I exceeded my goal by 20, and I actually met my goal of 100 2 months early. And I just wanted to share some of the tips that I found helpful that will help you read more in a month, as well as maybe read things faster and maybe exceed your goal as well. So my number one tip that I think is the most helpful is audiobooks, audiobooks, audiobooks. I cannot tell you how much the audiobook game has really helped me in reaching my goals every single year. Now, I know there's a lot of debate on whether an audiobook should be considered a book that you read on your Goodreads challenge, and personally, I think it does. You put in about the same amount of time to read the book as you do listening to the book, sometimes even more. So I think it's considered yes, especially when you're comprehending the story. One of the tactics that I found helpful when trying to pick an audiobook and choosing what audiobook to listen to, I usually only listen to audiobooks of books that maybe I'm not necessarily sure I'm gonna like, or I'm like really wanting to read it, but I just like physically can't let myself pick it up for some reason. So is there a book that you're particularly curious about, but you're not feeling completely compelled to read it right now? That could be a potential contender for your audiobook. So for me, I do 2 books at a time. I will be physically reading something, and then I'll have a separate book on audio that I'm listening to while I'm driving in the car, cooking dinner, taking a walk. All of these tasks in which reading a physical book is just not possible. Listening to it is a great way to, one, pass the time and entertain yourself, but also meeting those goals. Now, I know that like audiobooks can get really, really expensive. Like Audible is insanely overpriced for what you get. So here are some options for you to get free audiobooks. If you have a library card, it actually makes it so easy for you to obtain not only ebooks, but also audiobooks. So for example, my library offers Libby and Hoopla, which are 2 free apps in which you just put in your library card and you're able to check out either audiobooks, ebooks, whatever. And they make it so easy for you to listen to books and not have to pay for it. So I personally like Hoopla better because my library offers me 20 instant borrows. With Libby, there are sometimes a wait period. So if it's a really popular book, you may have to like wait in line for it to become available, which I don't understand that. Like my brain can't comprehend why I can't just listen to the digital copy of a book, but whatever. So Libby can sometimes have the longest wait times, but Hoopla usually has instant borrows in which you can listen to something immediately. So that is definitely an option for you. And they usually have pretty good stuff on there. I mean, a lot of the books will come out that day and that audiobook will be on Hoopla almost immediately. So it's actually really helpful and they're pretty up to date. Another way to get free audiobooks, if you have a Spotify premium subscription, you get 15 free hours of audiobook time. So they're kind of getting into the audiobook game, I would say. If there's a book that's less than 15 hours, you can listen to it for free on Spotify. How fun! And then my last tip about free audiobooks, this is more so for like classics. There are a lot of classic books on audio that are free on YouTube. I've listened to Jane Eyre on YouTube. I've listened to Pride and Prejudice on YouTube. I've listened to The Tales of Huckleberry Finn on YouTube. So YouTube could be a potential option for you. Okay, tip number 2. Set realistic goals. This may seem really small, but it actually helps a lot. Setting smaller goals for yourself can actually help you read more, I've found. Saying I'm gonna read 10 books this month is not necessarily like a goal in which can be easy to obtain, I guess. So I like to think about it like, oh, I'm gonna read a single book this week. Or I'm going to listen to a book and I'm going to finish a book and finish an audiobook this week. Or I'm going to get to so-and-so percent before the day is done. These small little goals that you set for yourself can actually help you, one, feel motivated to keep going, but also if you set 2 hours for yourself to read, you're probably gonna do 4 or 5. So that is a good way for you to pace yourself, but also feel like you're accomplishing something by meeting these smaller goals. So personally for me, some of the goals that I set for myself on a regular month, if I'm not too busy, I want to finish a book every 4 days. So whether that is an audiobook or if it's actually a physical book, I want to at least finish 1 book every 4 days. And that is a good motivation for me to read when I have some spare time. Okay, so my next tip is to always have a book with you. This may sound really self-explanatory, but it actually is something that you like consciously have to think about. Personally, I take my Kindle with me everywhere I go, but if it's not a situation in which I can just whip out my Kindle, I also have the Kindle app on my phone. So the good thing about the Kindle app is that if you read on the app, it will update your place in the book on your physical Kindle. You're not gonna feel like you're losing your place. And you always have your phone with you. So if there is a moment in time which you have 20 minutes of just free time, pick up your phone and start reading on your Kindle. It's as simple as that. I personally have read waiting in line at the bar. I have read at the opening act of a concert. I've read at the line at the grocery store. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You can read anywhere. I also like to keep a pair of headphones with me wherever I go so that if I am in particularly wanting to listen to my audiobook at that time, I can just slip my headphones in and I'm able to dive into my bookish world with the touch of my AirPods. It really is as simple as having the tools with you to be able to read your book wherever you go. Okay, so for my next tip, this is kind of similar to setting your own goals, but dedicating a specific time for reading has helped me tremendously in making sure that I'm at least reading a couple pages every single day. So for example, I set aside 2 hours every night before I go to bed to read my Kindle. So usually I'm in bed by 8. I don't go to bed until like 10:30ish. I take those 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I put my phone away and I am locked into my Kindle. Not only does this help you sleep better because reading yourself to sleep is a good way for you to wind down for the night, but also not being on your phone until the exact moment when you're gonna fall asleep is actually a really good thing for you, and it can help you have a better quality sleep. So reading on your Kindle is actually beneficial if you think about it. So my next tip is joining a reading community. So personally, I have a book club with my friends from college, and that has helped me a lot on keeping on track. Even if I'm having a busy month, I have to know that I'm going to read at least 1 book a month so that I can discuss it with my book club. And not only does this help motivate you to try new things and read a singular book, it's also so fun to talk with people who kind of get what you're going through and have a community with people who have the same interests as you. So whether it be joining a book club, you know, getting on TikTok and communicating with people on there, doing a buddy read, it is so helpful and helps push you to keep going and making reading a priority. So there you have it. There are just a couple of tips that I wanted to share. I kind of feel like I have a rhythm when it comes to the books I read every month. I read about 10 books a month, which obviously helps with me getting to my 100 books a year goal. So I think that these tips have really helped me personally. So let me know in the comments, like, what's your Goodreads goal? I always get so curious to see how many books people are trying to read in a year. I actually put mine down this year. I'm doing 85, which I will 100% meet. I just didn't want to stress myself out that much this year because I wanted to do more YouTube and more videos and things like that. So I didn't want to stress myself out too much, but I will 100% get that, and I probably will read 100 like I did last year. So if you found these tips helpful at all, please do not forget to like and subscribe if you do not mind. And I also have all my social media links down below if you're interested in following me on Goodreads or Instagram or TikTok. And let me know if these tips help you read more books in the next month. But for now, bye guys.